Hey everyone, my name is Nigel Bajos, and in today's video I just wanted to share 3 pieces of filmmaking gear that I use on a daily basis. Now I did do a video similar to this on pieces of gear that I buy really frequently, and I'll put a link to that video up there, but that video is a little old, so I thought that I would update it in this video and show you 3 pieces of gear that I use on a daily basis. So all 3 of these things are really cheap. Each of them can be had for well under 20 bucks, some under 10 bucks. And all 3 of them will be linked in the description below if you want to pick them up. So the first piece of gear is a piece of gear that I got to replace this. I usually keep a quarter in my backpack if I ever need to take the tripod mount off of a camera. So I'd take the quarter and I'd use it kind of like a flathead screwdriver. But sometimes I lose these, so having this in my backpack, it always got lost and it just wasn't as convenient. So that caused me to buy this little guy. This is a little carabiner with a flathead screwdriver on the end. It's only like 7 or 8 bucks, and although it does have like a bottle opener and I think this is like a ruler on one side of it, but what I use it for most is to take the tripod plates off of my cameras. This works so much better than just using a quarter, and it's just really convenient and it's really cheap. I usually keep this clipped on to my keyring, so no matter where I go, I'm always gonna have a flathead screwdriver with me so I can take the tripod plates off of my cameras. So again, this thing is only like 7 bucks, and I actually learned about this little guy from watching a lot of Matt Workman's videos over at the Cinematography Database, so definitely go check his channel out if you haven't already. But yeah, these little guys, really inexpensive and really useful. All right, so the second thing that I always keep in my backpack and I use every once in a while is just some white, gray, and black cards. Now, I don't really use the black card that much, but I use the white card to set my white balance and the gray card to set my exposure sometimes, especially when I'm working with multiple cameras and I want the white balance to be exactly the same. I use the white balance card a lot for that. I don't usually use the gray card to set exposure because I'm just lazy and I just normally eyeball my exposure, or especially when I was using my Panasonic cameras, I would just set exposure with my histograms. But this is definitely a nifty accessory to keep in your backpack just in case you're working with a camera that doesn't have the same kind of white balance or exposure settings that you're used to. So again, a pack of these cards can be had for well under like 7 or 8 bucks on Amazon. So I'll have the links to the ones that I have in the description below. But again, this is just great to have just in case you ever need to set a custom white balance or set your exposure with a gray card. All right, last but not least is something that I've already talked about, but I use it so much I just decided that I'm going to talk about it again. I mentioned this in that video that I talked about before, but gaff tape. Now I use gaff tape almost every single time I go out shooting because there's always something that I need to tape up or use this for when I'm out shooting. Even right now, I'm wearing a shirt that doesn't really have a good collar, or it's not buttoned down, so it's kind of hard to put a lapel. And I've actually got my lapel mic taped to my chest right under my shirt. And that's just one of the many ways that I use gaffer tape. If you guys follow my Instagram page, that's just for my filmmaking stuff. I'll put the link to that right there. But I use gaff tape on a lot of my cameras too, and a lot of people ask me like why I cover my cameras in gaff tape. Well, the main reason is because I'm trying to preserve my camera as much as I can. As you guys know, I don't keep cameras for very long. I usually have a camera for 6 or 7 months and then I end up selling it and buying something else. So when I go to sell it, I want my camera to be in pristine condition. I don't want there to be any scratches or any real signs of use. And so the best way to do that for your camera, and I suggest everyone does this because you never know when you're gonna sell your camera, and when you do, you wanna be able to get the most money out of it. And I think a great way to preserve how your camera looks is covering all of the spots that normally get scratched up with gaffer's tape. So yeah, those are just a couple of the many reasons that I use gaff tape. Gaff tape is really not that expensive, and what's cool about it is that it doesn't leave any residue. So as soon as you pull it off, there's no stickiness to it like other tapes. And once you cover, the main points that get scratched of your camera with gaff tape, I would, advise doing that as soon as you get your camera if you're buying it new. Cover it in gaff tape. Then by the time that you're ready to sell, you can just take the gaff tape off and your camera will look brand new. Anyways, those were some of the 3 items that I always have with me and that I use frequently for filmmaking. Again, they're all going to be linked in the description below. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, it'd be great if you hit the like button, and be sure to subscribe to my channel for more content. and you can even hit that bell if you want to get notified for when I upload new videos. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you all later. Bye.